In today's video, we're going to be talking about healing traumatic pain from your past. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and hello. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe before you leave. That way you'll never miss out on another video. I do upload 3 times a week, so make sure you're subscribed so you do not miss out. Also, if you guys want more one-on-one with me, more readings, a chance to win a weekly free reading, head over to Patreon and join me over there. Okay, let's get into today's video. I have been doing a lot of inner work lately for my own self, and I feel like there's a lot of things that I've learned that I really want to share with you guys. So this is going to be about healing a traumatic experience that may have happened in your past, just healing from your past. And here's why it's so important to heal things from your past, because we don't want these things to have power over us anymore. Things that happen to us that are traumatic, up from childhood up until we are grown up, they leave a mark on us. They create stories within us, you know, whatever we see, whatever we feel in those moments, we often carry it into our life. We make it a part of our lifestyle. It affects the way we react to similar things in the future. It affects the way we start to trust. It affects the way we start to love. It just really affects our version and our perception of our reality. And that's where, if there is something that you have not healed from, it creates an energetic block. Say if you had a heartbreak in the past and you haven't completely healed from it, you carry that into your future relationships. And if you're currently trying to manifest a relationship, you may be struggling because there is energetic blocks. And if you are in a relationship and there are challenges in the relationship, then there's energetic blocks that you may be holding on to from the past. Same thing with money. If there is something that happened with money, or maybe during your childhood you were taught that money is evil, money is hard to come by, you have to work really, really hard for money. These beliefs get implanted within your mind, and you start to create your reality based off these beliefs. So it's really important to go back into your childhood, to go back to your past experiences and to heal these and make amends with them and make peace with them, not for anyone else but yourself, so that you can create your reality the way you want without anything getting in your way. So I was inspired to make this video because I actually went into my past at the most traumatic event that ever happened to me. And I revisited that in a way that I've never revisited it before. So what happened was that I allowed myself to cry. First of all, usually I would distract myself by either working or doing something else, but this time I just sat there and I allowed all of it to come. The thoughts, the fears, the crying, whatever needed to come, I just let it come, and I just allowed myself to be. Just be still in that moment and just let it all come. That's what I did. And all of a sudden, at first, of course, it hurts, and you like all of this stuff comes up that you just dread on facing, and you know, you get afraid and you get sad, you get depressed, whatever it may be. Again, before we get started with this though, I'm not a professional. I'm just sharing with you guys my own journey, in hopes that it will help you too. I'm just sharing with you guys what I know and what I experienced, in hopes that it will help somebody out there that needs the same kind of healing. So basically what happened is I let it all come, and at first it was like a tornado, and then I started to calm down and I started to hear my own inner voice. You know, that voice inside of you that is always chattering and chattering and chattering, right? But this time it was different. It wasn't chattering. It was clear, soft, and strong at the same time, and it was very clear, and that's the only way I can describe it. And I feel like I was in a connection with my spirit, my higher self, and that's what was coming through. And all of a sudden, I just started to ask myself a few questions, and as I was answering these questions, I realized a lot of things and a lot of ways that I behave now, a lot of things that trigger me, a lot of things that make me react in a negative way, it all has to do with that one experience that happened probably more than 15 years ago, and I'm still holding on to the pain. But in a way where I've been holding on to that pain for so long that it became embedded within me. And I noticed and I realized that because I was holding on to that pain, the universe was like, okay, she's holding on to pain. She must like really want it, or she must not want to let it go. So the universe started to like, I see now why things happened in my life, certain things. It's because I carried that with me, and I became like a walking, talking magnet for pain in all aspects of my life. So I feel like that was made very, very clear to me. So I actually ended up sitting on that couch crying, and not just crying, but at the same time releasing, purging, and healing, if that makes sense. And I ended up asking myself 10 questions that I've never really asked myself before, and answering these questions allowed me to feel lighter and lighter and lighter, and made me so clear in what I need to do to move forward, and what aspects of me do I need to leave behind and release. And so that's what I did, and I actually really feel like I've healed from that experience. That experience no longer has power over me. That experience, I now look at it it was a blessing. I lost somebody very, very special to me, and I feel like I've been grieving for 15 years. And so when this healing happened, I feel like finally I was able to release the pain and be able to see this in a new light, if that makes sense. I want to share with you guys these 10 questions. So if you guys are interested in doing this for yourself, then I will have the questions for you down below. But let's get into what these questions are. The first question to ask yourself after a traumatic event, or the first question to sit down and ask yourself, what stories and beliefs did this traumatic event implant into your mind? That's a big one. That's something I did not even realize, that this experience, this death, created so many beliefs and stories and habits and emotional patterns inside my mind that I carried with me for years. And being able to sit and think about that, how and what was affected, what stories were actually created in my mind, I was able to get so much clarity. And not only that, but I was able to shift my focus to where it needs to go. Like, it gave me clarity on what exactly do I need to do. Sometimes we feel so stuck that we don't even know how to begin or where to go. So I feel like this question is a really good start. For example, this death planted this story within my mind that nothing lasts forever, love doesn't last forever, that if love was real, the other person would hold on to life. Like, if my love was real, the other person would hold on to their life. Kind of like that. And that's very irrational, first of all. And I realized that I was holding on to that belief. And not only that, but after this happened, the people in my life reacted not in good ways, not in positive ways, because of their own journey and their own beliefs. I don't know, but I did not have good interactions with other people when this happened. I wasn't given the right support and love that I truly needed to heal, and so that created stories and beliefs inside of me that I can't trust people, that there's no one out there that will support me. There's nobody out there that will really truly love me, even in my deepest, like, darkest, most fallen of days. I will have to go through all of that alone. That's the story that I created and I held on to for over 15 years. So that's just an example. The second question that is really important for you to answer is, what limits did you put on yourself, love, and trust after this happened? Like I was explaining, just an example of my own experience. I stopped trusting in people because of my experience, because of what I experienced in my darkest of days. I created this belief within my mind and my subconscious, and it was really rooted deep within me that I cannot trust anyone, or I just cannot trust any person to be there for me the way that I wanted or needed. And also love. I lost hope in love. I felt like love would never be for me, or that love doesn't truly exist, or that true love doesn't truly exist, or like a deep loving connection with another human being cannot exist. That was implanted within me so strongly, and I didn't even realize it. But sitting here now as an adult today, when I look at my relationships and I see the struggles in each of my relationships, I can now understand my part in the struggle. So being aware of that, I can change it. The third question you should ask yourself is, why did you let yourself go? Usually when something painful and traumatic happens, after you kind of let yourself go. Like, you stop dressing up, you stop treating yourself nicely, you almost kind of want to punish yourself, and you just stop taking care of yourself as if you matter or as if you're important. You know, sometimes the pain and the sadness get more attention than you, if that makes sense. So that's another question that was really important for me to answer for myself. Why did I let myself go? Because I thought I deserved to, that there was nothing there to get ready for, you know, to get ready for the day for what? And I implanted that into my head, and I started to attract situations that proved my mentality right. And that's what's going to happen. Whatever these stories are that are created inside of your mind, you're going to create your life based on this. The fourth question that was really eye-opening for me, I can't even believe I asked myself these questions, but the fourth one is, I actually wrote them on my phone. What is the one thing you can do today to change the pattern you built inside yourself for 15 years? That was a question for me. Yours could be longer. It could be something that was from childhood, something that was from a really bad breakup, whatever it was, you know? What can you do today to change the story that was implanted within you? And for me, it was to allow myself to trust. And this kind of started with the relationships around me. I just became a little bit softer when it comes to trust, and it just felt right for me. And so I just wanted to allow myself to trust the people around me, the people that genuinely care for me and that I know they genuinely care for me. That's a huge first step for me, to be able to become vulnerable to these people. I feel like that's a huge step for me, because that goes against what I taught myself through this traumatic experience. Number 5, you most likely will shed some tears while you do this. So the fifth question to ask is, why are you crying? And this could be the simplest answer, because the way that I answered it is, I don't feel good. I feel bad. I feel hurt. I feel pain. I feel the loss. I feel that emptiness. Like, I described to myself what I was feeling that was making me cry. It's always very important to pinpoint what is making you cry, so that that thing can lose its grip over you. So you know, okay, my ability not to trust, that was hurtful to me and it made me cry. So I released that first of all, and then I allowed myself to feel the pain of that, and it just, I healed. I really healed that aspect of myself. The sixth question was, why are you afraid to let yourself heal? Or why are you afraid to let this belief go? Or why are you afraid to let this story go? Or why are you afraid to do the opposite of your story, of your belief? This is a really important question too, because the way I answered it is because, okay, if I do allow myself to trust again, I'm gonna get hurt. Or if I do make this investment, I'm gonna fail. You know, it's very important to pinpoint why you don't want to go against your belief, or why you don't want to try something that is opposite of something you've taught yourself through a traumatic experience. I hope that made sense. Number 7, this was a tough one to answer, but I'm really glad I answered it. And so take your time when you guys are doing this, and maybe if you guys want to seek help and do this with a therapist or counselor, I don't want you guys to sit there and answer all these questions and then just go into the abyss of sadness and not know how to handle it. You have to really be honest and raw with yourself, but you have to be able to handle that honesty and rawness from yourself too. But number 7, the 7th question was, what fears has this experience created within you? Mine was a lot. It was a long list, and I wrote them all down. And I feel like writing them all down was the first step, and now the universe sees, okay, this and this and this is something she's trying to get rid of. So you want to keep that connection with the universe or spirit or God, your higher self, whatever you believe in, so that whenever you do something like that, you're doing a releasing session with yourself, and then you want to write it down. Or actually do a releasing ritual where you write everything you want to release on a bay leaf and then burn it. That's actually what I did. That same night that I had this whole experience, that night I wrote down everything I wanted to release on a bay leaf and I burned it. Number 8, this is also a very, very eye-opening one. What aspects of your life does this experience still affect? That was an eye-opening one because I realized that there are a lot of aspects of my life that these negative beliefs affect, and it actually creates more problems because I haven't healed from it, I haven't let them go, and I'm bringing it all with me as I move forward. Number 9, what would you like to do with this traumatic experience? So that's a big one. Like, sometimes we just let it sit somewhere suppressed within us, right? And we just let it sit and festers, and it starts to creep and seep into different aspects of our life. Now we want to decide, okay, what do we want to do with it? That experience, do we want to release it from ourselves? It will always be there. The memory of it will always be there, but will it hold power over you still? Will it affect this and this and this area of your life still? So that was a question that I felt like I needed to ask myself to understand what I want to do with this experience. What did I want to do with this experience? I wanted to help other people out there that maybe are grieving or going through grief. Maybe one day I can help in that area somehow. But I definitely wanted this memory to be something moving forward that has a positive vibration instead of sitting there suppressed and just creating negative energy within me, if that makes sense. The 10th question that I asked myself was, do you love yourself enough to be happy? So this was very important to ask myself because it's important to let yourself know, how much happiness do you think you deserve? And do you think you deserve any bit of happiness? Do you think you deserve to be happy in love? Do you think you deserve to be happy in your finances? It's very important to answer these questions very, very honestly. And if you say no, if you answer no, like if you say, do I deserve to be happy in love? And then you actually truly believe, no, you don't. That's where you need to do a little bit of reevaluating, healing, and really become more aware and go a little bit deeper as to why you believe that. And number 11 is not a question, but maybe like an affirmation, but definitely keep number 11 in mind. And what I wrote, or what I said to myself was, even with this burden in your heart, what have you accomplished up until today? So it is a question. Okay, it's a question. So even with this burden in your heart, what have you accomplished up until today? Even with this struggle, what kinds of things have you manifested and attracted and been successful at? Give yourself credit. You kept going. That's so important. Some people just stop and give up, and some people go into a downward spiral, but you kept going. Maybe you kept going to work. You kept taking care of someone. You kept moving forward with a smile on your face. You kept pursuing your career, like whatever it was, you kept going. Give yourself credit. A lot of the time, we don't give ourselves any credit, and we just keep paying attention and focusing on that experience, and we don't give ourselves credit and love for overcoming or moving forward from it in whatever way we did. So these are 11 questions that you can really ask yourself on this like self-healing journey. I'm not a professional, so this is just me sharing what worked for me, what healed me. And for anybody that's struggling out there that really wants to go deeper within their pain and like healing something that was traumatic in the past, like I just want to share with you what I did for myself. Okay, so that was my video. I just wanted to sit here and talk to you guys really quickly. If you want more, head to Patreon, visit my Etsy store for all your spiritual supplies, and I'll talk to you guys very soon.